If someone asked me, do I support Jordan Peterson? No. Dude, he talks about, this is the most psychotic shit anyone serious has said publicly. Today's guest is the great and wonderful and one of our all-time favorite guests, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who has graced us with his presence yet again. Yes, Hila, hold that up. It's calm. Even the cover is calming.
Yeah. Enforced monogamy helps neutralize that.
Enforced monogamy? Who has... This is like straight ISIS shit. This is like as extreme as like ISIS.
Yep.
Do you understand how psychotic forced monogamy is?
So the question is, what do you mean by enforced monogamy?
Well, we could start by what I don't mean. I don't mean taking innocent women at gunpoint and handing them over to useless men, which is essentially the accusation.
I love how his whole theory on the let's say the equality of outcome is like fucking affirmative action is fucking cultural Marxism. It's evil. How dare we ensure that black people who have spent their whole existence and this book, I've read it, I loved it, and listen, don't take my word for it. Take Amazon's top seller list for it.
And they videotaped this, right, and put it online. And
ironically, the same exact thing that happened to Humongous.
Yeah,
right.
Which was the thing that puzzled me the most. It's like, you thought this
was good for you,
made you look good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah, it just shows how out of touch they are. Really, it's disturbing that people can be so consciously manipulative.
Well, luckily.
Have you ever wondered how Jordan Peterson deals with being attacked? How he felt during the tundra of conflict, contradiction, and controversy that surrounded him?
If you're extroverted and low in agreeableness, you tend to be narcissistic because an extroverted person likes to dominate the social circumstance. And if they're disagreeable as well, then they don't really care about their impact on other people. And so extroversion, high extroversion plus low agreeableness can lead to narcissism. And you have to watch that, because if you're narcissistic, then you really are the star all for yourself. And that's actually just not a very good way of negotiating the world. People will turn off to you after some time because they'll discover that you're not reciprocal enough in your interactions. You're not generous enough.
It's not easy.
It's not easy being an incel.
What are we going to do without incels? What are we going to do? They take the red pill. And this kind of targeted harassment from Keemstar actually does take a toll on me mentally. And when I'm already having a hard time, Keemstar is sure to drill in and give me even a worse time as possible. Today's guest is the great and wonderful and one of our all-time favorite guests, Dr. Jordan Peterson. The great and wonderful Dr. Jordan Peterson. The fucking insane Jordan Peterson. Etika, I believe he suffered from bipolar disorder. But Keemstar, of course, was very quick to capitalize on these spectacles.
Attica has lost his mind.
Keemstar, of course, very quick to capitalize. First of all, I want to watch Jordan Peterson crying about men. Keemstar, of course, very quick to capitalize. Dr. Jordan Peterson is beyond fucking insane.
Because sometimes people's lives become so complex that they'd rather be dead. And the reason they seek death through suicide is to make the complexity go away. Because complexity causes suffering if it's uncontrolled. You know, things just get beyond your control. And that can happen, you know, if you're hit by 3 or 4 catastrophes at the same time.
The easily treatable and non-dangerous, slow-growing malignancy that we were told she had was, in fact, something fast-growing with about a near 100% fatality rate within a year, regardless of treatment.
My wife tried to leave me. I told her this is forced monogamy. Now lay down. Daddy Peterson needs to get his.
Oh boy.
And that can happen, you know, if you're hit by 3 or 4 catastrophes at the same time.
And then I had my own problems start to develop. Really, I had been taking benzodiazepines since 2016. It was unbearably unpleasant. And so
I started tapering off when Tammy was in the hospital, but I couldn't push that too fast. And I also developed this condition called akathisia. And the best way I can describe that is that it was like being jabbed with something electric or something sharp, non-stop for hours, for all the hours I was awake.
I didn't get pussy for so long, I got addicted to benzos.
And
If you love men so much, why don't you have sex with one? First of all, I want to watch Jordan Peterson crying about men.
It's very useful to
Look,
tell
he starts crying.
everyone, put their lives together and they can help their families and they can make their community.
And Keemstar, of course, was very quick to capitalize.
You know, there are lies, and then there are anti-truths, and an anti-truth is even worse than a lie. It's like the ultimate form of lie, and that is what my life is like at all. What my life is like is that I travel with my wife, and wherever we go, and I mean that literally, wherever we go, if I go down the street, or if I'm in an airport, or if I'm in a cafe, or if I'm in a movie theater, or if I'm in a mechanic's shop, some person comes up to me every 10 minutes and says, I hope I'm not disturbing you. And they're very, very polite. And they say, I've been listening to your lectures, or I've been watching your YouTube videos, or I read your book, and I was in this dreadful place 6 months ago, and then they tell me a little bit about the particulars of that little corner of hell they were ensconced in. And then they say, well, I've been trying to develop a vision for my life, or I've been trying to take more responsibility, or I've been trying to be grateful for my job, mundane though it may be, or I've decided that I'm going to try to put my family together and make peace, and I've really been trying, and it's really working, and things are way better, and thank you. And so, well, it's overwhelming.
This guy's a real jerk. Reviewers are calling it everything from shit to fucking shit.
By the way, you want to see what this guy looks like? That's this guy. There he is, and there's Joe Rogan. The irony of Ethan Klein trying to tell the world how unhealthy Joe Rogan eats. He eats elk meat and eggs. There he is again. Elk meat and eggs. I think he should challenge Joe Rogan to a fight like Cenk did, right? I mean, based on that photo. By the way, does offer protection against COVID, especially if you suffer from comorbidities such as an autoimmune disorder or an Ethan Klein chin. If you have, that's also
That's one of the comorbidities.
That's one of the comorbidities. He could look at, isn't it? Well, how you get so fat, you could put your drinks on your stomach and you don't have to use your arms. Because if you use your arms, that would burn calories and you might lose weight, and you don't want to do that. But we got to see a picture of him. There's a nicer picture of him. That's really a picture.
It's pretty bold to call somebody a bitch when you. Yes, I know.
That is a nice look.
It is a nice look. Come on. By the way, he posted this he took this picture himself, and then he posted for the public for some. I'm guessing this was a cry for help. Why else would you do that? I guess that's a cry for help. Hey, Joe Rogan, if you're so healthy, how come you don't have 8 chins? Okay. Right? Hey, Joe, if you're so healthy, how come you don't have 8 chins? Remember that picture that CNN altered to make Joe Rogan look sicker? Remember that? Even Joe Rogan's image altered by CNN to make him look like a corpse looked 1,000 times healthier than any of Ethan's pictures. Isn't that amazing? Here's another one.
Didn't do any altering to Ethan's picture?
No, here's another one. There he is. There he is. How do you post something like that and then mock Joe Rogan? Hey, Joe Rogan, if you're so healthy, how come you never drink salad dressing? You want to see him drinking salad dressing? Here he is.
Oh, yes. This ranch is so freaking creamy, you guys. Oh.
This guy makes fun of Joe Rogan for eating elk meat and eggs. This guy. This guy.
Well, I think he's doing this ironically, but this is supposed to be a joke, but
Here,
he probably did eat the pizza.
I know he did. Let's watch. Let's play that. Let me show me.
Oh, yes. This ranch is so freaking creamy, you guys. Oh. Oh.
He does suffer from depression. I do know that about.
And he is a slob.
Surprisingly,
so
he does suffer.
Surprisingly, he is a slob, and boy, is he sensitive about his weight. And it turns out, while you're obese, doesn't make you a health nut, and it doesn't make anything you say make sense either. Isn't that interesting?